Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Just make yourself all the way down to the ends off somewhere there. Wherever you guys feel comfortable. You all can be seated. I was just bringing the alternates in since they've been through the trial from the beginning. Just a warning for everybody, be respectful of the jury verdict, whatever it is. If there's any outbreaks, those gentlemen and ladies in the back of the courtroom will have you bring you before me after the fact. Okay? Let's respect them. They have worked hard. Make sure the mic works.
Yeah, probably.
You guys didn't have good baked goods this morning?
We're making large plans.
Those yesterday smelled wonderful. I was good. I'll stay in my diet. Riley took your seat. Panel sworn find the defendant not guilty as to count 3 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser included offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022 with the 12 signature lines. Relative to count 4, we, the jury in this case, find the defendant not guilty as to count 4 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser included offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022 with the 12 signatures found there with its 4-person designation. Count 5, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 5 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022, and it has the 12 signatures present on the document and the 4-person designation. Relative to count 6, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 6 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022. It has the 12 signature lines with the 4-person designation. Relative to count 7, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 7 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022. 12 signature lines are present and signed with the 4-person designation. Relative to count 8, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 8 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022 with the 12 signature lines with the 4-person designation. As to count 9, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 9 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022 with 12 signature lines and the 4-person designation. Relative to count 10, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 10 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022. 12 signature lines are present, and the 4-person designation is present also. Relative to count 11, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 11 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022. The 12 signatures are present along with the 4-person designation. Relative to count 12, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 12 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022. 12 signatures are present with the 4-person designation. Relative to count 13, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 13 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022. 12 signatures are present along with the 4-person designation. Count 14, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 14 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offenses, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April 2022. 12 signature lines are present with the 4-person designation. Juror Foreman, is this the verdict of the jury?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Zion, do you want to poll?
I do not, Your Honor.
Poll?
No, thank you.
Okay. I want to thank you for your service. We've got some paperwork to discharge you on. I did get an answer to the mystery text yesterday, and I'll explain that to you here in a couple minutes. I want to thank you for your service. You are now discharged.
All rise.
Thank you all. Thank you for your service.
Y'all may be seated. For the record, I have the other forms that are all blank at this point in time. Dr. Husel, you're now discharged from any conditions of the court. I ask that you kindly check in with pretrial on your way out to make sure that there's no problems or if there's anything that they need to clear up. Okay, but you are now discharged. Okay? Anything else come before the court?
Not from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to go back and talk to them for a minute. Do you guys want an opportunity to talk to them?
No. I have no reason to unless they wish to speak to us, Judge.
Okay.
I would, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll see. I always leave it up to them.
I understand.
Okay. With that, we stand in recess.